Hi everybody and welcome to another 3D tutorial, and in this one we are going to draw a cobra. And I've made several kinds of snakes. They all work actually if you follow these instructions, and you can see here how nice it looks and how well this snake pops up, and especially when you put this in a dark background. Okay, let's have a look at how that is working, and we will draw it on our paper. What I'm using is an A5 format paper, and the setup I do with a 2H pencil. We start out in the top of the page, our drawing sheet, and first we draw in the tip of the head. Right beside that, I draw in the edge of the mouth and the very sharp teeth on the upper jaw and the lower jaw. You can see a little bit inside the head. Right next to the head, I draw in the left flap. And the nice thing about a cobra is once that he is angry or something, those flaps he can spread out and even get more impressive and scare away his enemies and stuff. And they're quite nice. They are dangerous, but they are very nice to draw. Here on the right side, I'm drawing in the right flap, and it has kind of a thickness that I draw in with just a few simple lines, and it's kind of the shape of a heart. Here is the actual body of the snake, and I draw that down towards the end where he will sit on the paper itself. That's about here. Then I head down backwards. And as you can see, it is quite the shape of the letter S. And in the end, it is getting a little bit tinier. And just for the fun of it, his body is coming out of a pit. Now it's time to draw in the eye. And he has this sharp pupil, and the other eye you cannot actually see. And here I'm drawing in the actual body itself. It's kind of his belly, and this is covered in those long kind of scales, if you want. Those scales you can also just see on the tip of his body at the end. And what is also very nice to draw in is those markings that he has inside those flaps, and they kind of look like eyes, so he can impress his enemies. Now out of his mouth there's a long tongue, and that is split up in the end. Here I am positioning the horizon that we will cut out later, and then we will see maybe it needs a little bit lower, I think. Well, we will see that once we look through it through the camera. And once you are satisfied with the drawing you've made with the 2H pencil, you can go over that with your fine liner. Now it's time to make the lines definitely. So I carefully follow those lines, and here I am putting in all those scales that are on the belly of our cobra. And so I continue. You can see the scales here also. And the tongue, of course, we should not forget. Here's some tips and some markings on his head. And if you want, you can draw in all those little tiny scales if you want, and maybe give it a color. I will keep this one black and white. And I do need a little bit of shadow here and there. And for the shadows, I am using a black color pencil. By putting in the shadows, our cobra will pop up even more. You can see it here. I'm darkening in that bit where he comes from. And just underneath the snake, I try to follow the shape of the body. And I'm creating a shadow that is casted on our drawing sheet. To color in that shadow, I make sure to press extra hard just underneath the snake. And as the shadow is getting farther away, I press a little bit lighter on my black color pencil. So I get different kinds of black in that shadow. This will give it an extra 3D dimension. Just underneath the head itself, I also draw in an extra shadow. And that will make the head pop out. Okay, it's cutting time. Make sure to cut out precisely just behind the lines you've drawn in with your fine liner. Once you've done that, you can take a peek through your camera to see if the effect is okay. Let's have a look. Well, I think that the horizon can be a little bit lower. And you can always go lower. So be careful with that. I'm putting the line just between the teeth in this case. So I'm cutting out a little bit extra. Let's have a look. Putting it up there. Yeah, that's better. This is the snake that I wanted. The effect is awesome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big like and please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out my other videos. I will see you again in my next tutorial.